Hello and welcome everyone to today's webinar From Zero to Sign, how training providers are landing enterprise AI contracts faster than they expected. Thank you all for joining us today. We are excited to have such a great audience with us for what promises to be a very insightful discussion. AI is no longer just a future initiatives for enterprises as we know. It's becoming a business priority. And with that shift, training providers are finding new opportunities to partner with organizations that are looking to upskill teams, implement AI strategies, and drive transformation faster than ever before. Today's session will explore how training providers are accelerating enterprise AI deal cycles, what enterprises are really looking for, and the strategies that are helping organizations move from initial conversations to signed contracts much more quickly than expected. And to lead through the session, we are joined today by two fantastic speakers. First, we have Ben Watson, the Chief Commercial Officer at AI Certs. He is an experienced technology and business leader known for helping organizations accelerate digital transformation and AI adoption strategies. Ben has worked closely with enterprises on aligning learning initiatives with business outcomes, enabling organizations to scale innovation, strengthen workforce readiness, and drive measurable impact through AI powered solutions. His experience across enterprise technology, consulting, and strategic transformation brings a highly practical perspective to today's conversation. And alongside him, we have Afreen Hashmi, a dynamic senior sales account manager at AI Certs. With strong expertise in enterprise learning partnerships, B2B growth, and AI focused training initiatives. Afreen has been actively involved in helping organizations understand the value of AI enablement and workforce upskilling, while also working closely with enterprises and training providers to build impactful learning ecosystems. Her experience in driving strategic conversations around AI adoption and professional learning makes her an excellent voice for today's discussion. We are thrilled to have both of you with us today and are looking forward to hearing your insights and experiences. Over to you, Ben.
Perfect. Thank you. Wow, that was a long introduction. It makes it sound like we're pretty impressive speakers. We have a large group joining us today, so we will keep an eye on the chats um, and try to answer things as best we can. We're going to divide this into I'll do a bit at the beginning. Freen will take you through the details, and then I'll help wrap things up. But I appreciate everyone spending an hour with us on hopefully on what is a good Tuesday. So whether you're joining us here from within the Americas or outside in Europe, Middle East, Africa, or Asia and Pacific, thank you again for joining us. We're going to take you through kind of some interesting shifts in the market as it relates to training providers, training companies, and the impact of AI on their business and the opportunity. So, as was mentioned, I'm the Chief Commercial Officer for AI Certs, and one of the programs that I run is our partner program. So, with that, let's set up today's topic, right? One of which is, to no one's surprise, AI is becoming really, really popular. AI is a different type of a technology, right? This isn't a standard, software vendor rolling out a new package like, Microsoft rolling out Microsoft Office, and we got to get everyone, trained and used to using Microsoft Office. AI is used differently depending on the role that you're in, depending that on the industry that you work for, and the type of AI technology is being rolled out. This poses challenges for training companies because it's not your standard, here's a standard generic course and is given to, the same audience. It requires a different approach. The opportunity is because of that, everyone is needing AI training, right? In particular, not just small selective groups inside a company, but increasingly the entire company needs to get literally ready for AI. And this is where we're going to take you through this opportunity over the next 55 minutes. Now, in the North America alone, this is a webinar really designed for North America or North American companies in the training business. To no big surprise, right? I mean, North America is one of the leading regions when it comes to AI spending. You can go through and read all these stats. The stats all usually end in big numbers like billions, right? That's the opportunity, right? That's what we call the signal, right? If companies are spending money on AI, then following behind that is the need to literally get their users ready to use that AI, right? This is not an isolated thing. 2 years ago, we saw the demand increasing and all the rest. It is usually nowadays easily three-quarters of all companies are doing something with AI. They're either, doing pilots, they're adopting the technologies and rolling it out, or they're adapting the way people do their jobs, adapting their workflows, and then scaling that out across the company. But there's very few organizations that are not at least thinking about AI, right? Now, as they rush to push out the AI technology, what is lagging, and this is somewhat ironic, is getting their people used to it. And you can see even in that first set of bullet points, less than half of the users are getting training, right? So on one hand, lots of spending on the technology, but getting the people ready to use that technology is falling behind. Now, it used to be that when new technologies got rolled out by a company, you would go and do, a course, you would do a workshop, you would roll it out to, the users that are using that technology. Well, nowadays, when enterprises roll out AI technology, they're rolling it out for everyone, right? Everyone can use AI. They use it in different ways depending on their role. This kind of breaks that model of, well, let's go and send everyone to a course, right? And meanwhile, of course, those AI technologies are changing, right? Now, when we start looking at the size of the market, well, it honestly just gets ridiculous, right? You know, 6 billion in corporate training, growing to 32 billion. You know, U.S. market is huge. The Canadian market, I'm Canadian, is huge, right? Every region is growing, right? It's not a pilot anymore. Everyone is actively looking for AI, right? Everyone is looking for, and I think this is important for today's topic, an enterprise-wide solution. Now, what does this mean if you're in the training business? One, huge opportunity, but the type of training that is required is of a different shape than we're historically used to, right? Now, again, the opportunity is if you approach the right way, you go and close enterprise-wide deals, right? But you have to think your way through it. And we're going to take you through some ways of thinking about it and even some of the ways that we've structured our partner program because we have different types of partner programs to help these different types of training companies take advantage of that, right? Now, if you're approaching it with this enterprise mindset, how do I go and help entire companies move their workforce to get everyone in their roles ready to use AI? Now you're starting to see the opportunity. It's not about a class or two. It's about getting everyone ready and keeping them ready because that AI technology that the company is rolling out to all their different teams and all their different roles is constantly evolving as well, right? Fast moving, but big opportunity. All right. The other interesting thing with this is typical training comes out of H&R and it comes out of a training budget. Interesting enough, in the AI world, the budget to get people ready for AI is really coming out of a higher level, call it what you will, transformation budget, coming out of the CIO budget, coming out of a strategic initiative. Companies aren't viewing this as training. They're viewing this as getting a company ready for AI and moving the entire company forward. The funding source, A, tends to be bigger, and B, tends to come from not HR. It tends to come from a bigger, I would call it a pot of money. All right. So where are these, big enterprise contracts coming from, right? And what do these contracts look like? What do their training needs look like? Well, one, of course, to no one's surprise is enterprise training, right? I just said it. Companies are rolling out AI. They gotta roll out AI readiness training, right? That's one of the first easiest buckets, right? You can go down, big market. Who's spending it? I mean, frankly, the question is who's not spending money on it, right? Fortune 500, of course, they have the money to spend on this stuff. It gives them, a competitive advantage by using AI. It gives them efficiency using AI. In my world, I often see the mid market, 5,000 plus employees. Those companies are trying to catch up to the Fortune 500. They're spending money on it as well. The smaller ones, the small and medium sized businesses, the SMBs, the mums and the pops, no, not so much. I mean, they're small. They don't have a lot of money to spend. But again, I go back to, 75% of organizations are spending money in AI. It's the 500, it's the mid market. That 25% I always think of as the smaller companies, right? What are they buying? They are increasingly buying training that results in a validated outcome. Because, and this is interesting, when you roll out AI, it has the potential to really make the company more competitive. It has the potential to make the company more effective, right? It gives them a new set of capabilities, right? But it's also risky. AI can be misused, right? And this is the downside of AI, right? When you use AI tools, right? The questions you ask of, I don't know, Chat GPT, right? Or Microsoft Copilot, the questions and the answers that you get may vary from day to day because of the information and access the data that those tools have, right? There's a risk. A lot of companies are looking not just to get people trained on AI, but validating those things, validating that they have that outcome, that they have that capability. Now, in this model, right, we often, and this is one of the programs we have for partners, is to become an authorized training partner, right? Think of these as your typical IT training companies. They do instructor led training, maybe they do some e learning, but we have a program geared towards commercial training companies going after the enterprise training market, right? Those types of partners, to no surprise, they typically do pilots with enterprise customers. As the pilot goes well, it expands and expands, and ideally it covers the entire company, right? Once you do that, then, like I said earlier, you have to keep those employees up to date as the technology changes, as their role changes. And this is one of the interesting um, impacts of using AI is my role as a salesperson or a marketing person. We've already started to see those roles start to change. Change drives recurring revenue from a training point of view. It's not just the fact that the technologies are changing, the roles are changing. How do you deal with those two sets of changes? Ongoing training. So this is, the gift that keeps on giving. Now, one of the other interesting buckets, right, is government, right? And policy or regulatory training, right? Governments are rolling out a lot of different initiatives. They are rolling out in Canada the need to go and train government employees, but they're also rolling out across Canada within their provinces. Here in the US, it's states, and in Canada, it's provinces. Across Canada and within their provinces, they're rolling out a set of policy initiatives, right? These are often, regulatory requirements around AI. They're trying to get people ready for AI and stuff like this. That right-hand side of the screen is another interesting pocket of money, right? Now, the way that training companies go after government and regulatory training is it's not always just author or commercial training companies, right? I call them authorized training partners. There's also associations and there's also academic partners. Well, we have an association program and an academic program. What do I mean by that? Um, if you're in a regulatory industry like healthcare, right? Every nurse belongs to a healthcare association. Every nurse belongs to, and I'll use Canada again as an example, a regional or a provincial based association, right? They have to meet the rules and requirements of a province. They also have a professional association, right? Association of nursing, association of healthcare, and things like that. Those associations need to train their members. And academic partners, think of higher education, secondary training, um, universities, right? Career colleges. Those are also working with the government and those regulatory industries to get people ready for AI as well. Three different types of partner programs often are going after government training. On the left-hand side of things, we often see, commercial training companies, often instructor-led training companies going after the enterprise side of things. All right. If you didn't get a sense of just how big the market is, let me take you to the next slide. I had mentioned this under the government side of things, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper on this, right? Because one is enterprises need AI training, government needs AI training, both employees of the government and all the policies and programs that governments do. Those people need training as well. But that professional association, um, those are the ones that are also getting involved in AI training, right? I gave you the example of the Nurse Association. If you're a lawyer, if you're a finance person, right? All those regulatory industries have their own associations, right? Those associations can become partners as well. They are increasingly offering training to their members, right? This is different than enterprise training. What do enterprises do? They train their employees. What do professional associations do? They train their members, right? It's a different model. That's why it has a different program structure to it as well. And then the last one, just to go, deeper on the academic side of things, right? Well, academic is about getting people ready to be employed, right? Enterprise has employees. Academic has students who want to become employees. You can see there just the sheer size of the academic. And academic can be, universities, it can be, career colleges, but we even have, companies like Coursera, right, who are trying to get people ready to become employed, or upskilling as well, right? Maybe, I'm employed today, but I myself want to go and spend money to get a new job or to get promoted in my current job while you go through an academic, pathway as they call it, right? Well, in that world, right, we have an authorized academic partner program because the way that you want to go and train your students is a little bit different than the way you want to go and train the employees of a company. Okay. Now, if you're keeping track of all these things, different pockets of money, different programs to go after those different buckets, right? Authorized training partner program for commercial training providers, um, associations, we have affiliates who are just resellers, um, and then we have these academic partners as well. All right. Now I go back to this because I always think it's interesting, right? In so much as we say, wow, look at how fast industries and companies are moving towards using AI, right? They're piloting it, they're adopting it, they're adapting to it. At the same point in time, about half the employees lack that training. That's the gap. There's the need right there. This is why, across all of our different partner programs, we have over 500 partners worldwide. And we have small partners, we have big partners, we have commercial training companies, we have associations, academic partners. It is a huge demand, and we're looking for partners to help go in to those different areas, go after those different buckets of money. Okay. Now, again, the text in the white box is important, right? Enterprises in particular are looking for an ongoing enterprise-wide solution. They're looking for solutions that are role-based because every role will use AI differently. A finance person will use a tool like Microsoft Copilot quite differently than a salesperson would or a marketing person would, right? Now, because of this rapid rollout of the technology, even though 55% of people, half of people aren't getting the training that they need, because they're rolling out the technology quicker, the buying cycles, right, for training tends to be faster as well, right? I'm rolling out the technology. I really got to go and get my people ready quickly for it. Otherwise, I'm spending a lot of money on my tools and my technologies, but I'm not getting effective use out of it because people literally aren't trained on how to use it effectively, right? So that demand exists, right? The gap, the bottleneck, right, is getting those people ready. Now, again, the question is how fast can training companies move? And then how fast can the enterprise companies move? Well, the enterprise companies are moving pretty fast, right? In fact, if anything, I would say that it's accelerating, right? Here's just some stats, right? I mean, I'm not going to go through all these things. You guys can scan it pretty quick, right? The key thing is if you're joining us today and you're in the training business, and hopefully you joined today's webinar because you are, right? Where do you sit in this world, right? Are you, offering standard courses? Are you offering, you know, uh, generic courses and things like that, right? Or are you trying to really meet the specific needs of the enterprises? Every enterprise is rolling out AI differently. Different roles are being involved, different industries are getting involved. And I go back to my example I gave earlier. This isn't like rolling out, Microsoft Office. Let's get everyone, trained on PowerPoint. Doesn't matter what role you're in, doesn't matter what industry you're in. Everyone gets the same Microsoft PowerPoint training. At best, you get, introductory training and intermediate training and advanced training. It doesn't work that way in the AI world. It just doesn't, right? Um, there is a really good opportunity here. Now, the key thing is a lot of this is because it is affecting everyone inside an organization, because organizations are spending a lot of money, they want a validated outcome. They don't want, a generic thing, right? Nor do they want a course completion certificate. Ben went to class. Who cares? Ben is using an AI tool that used effectively can really help the company. Used ineffectively, right? Ben can actually do a lot of damage to the company. They want that proof point, that want that milestone, they want that validated outcome. We call them certifications, right? And training companies that are offering certification backed courses are really getting a lot more business from the enterprises because it de-risks the use of AI. Now, this is changing kind of the expectation that companies have now, right? It used to be, oh, I need to go and, train people and I'll go find a training company, right? Now enterprises are getting a little bit more sophisticated in exactly what they want and why they want it. And you can see some of the examples there on the screen, right? They want that validated outcome. They need role-based, right? The developer versus the marketing person versus the legal person versus the HR person, they all need a different type of training based on their role because they're going to use those things differently. Okay. Now, with that in mind, right, they also need flexibility. They need self-paced e-learning. They need instructor-led. They need a combination of both. Why? Because they're rolling it out across the company, right? Now, the other interesting thing is, and it goes back to the need to have this validated outcome, these certifications, is they don't want a piece of paper. They want a digital credential. They want something that is not just digital, but something that can be verified, right? They want to make sure that, yes, Ben took the course, passed the exam, became certified, and that certification is still valid. It has not expired. It hasn't been revoked, right? And then, of course, if you're learning, AI, then you want some practical use, maybe some hands-on, maybe walk through videos, right? They just don't want people going through a bunch of text. So this is why, when you think about traditional training providers, right, they struggle with it, right? Because meanwhile, while you're out there trying to get the business, right, the tools and the technologies are changing all the time, right? And well, now now enterprise buyers want these validated outcomes and digital credentials. Oh my gosh, I've always done traditional instructor-led training. I got my courseware, I deliver the course. That's good enough. Well, it was good enough. It's not good enough anymore, right? And then meanwhile, if you are in the business of helping companies become AI ready, your SMEs are getting busy, the content guys, the people keeping things up to date, right? The training company itself is struggling to keep everything up to date, right? This is where, AI certs come in because we have that infrastructure in place. We keep the content up to date. We keep the certifications up to date. We have ways to go and get your trainers certified in the topics and the courses that they're teaching. And again, there's kind of like this thing of five, do everything in five, right? This is also where traditional training companies are struggling because of that speed to market, right? How fast can you move? How fast can you move versus your competitors, right? Because the competition is increasing because, like we said earlier, it's not just other training companies, right? Universities are offering training nowadays. The vendors like Microsoft and Google, right? And OpenAI, they're offering training, right? Everyone wants to come in. How fast can you move? How fast can you make sure that you're prepared to meet the demand and continue to meet the demand, right? Now, good news is you do this well with enterprise companies, right? Then they only want to work with one organization because they got to train everyone. So they don't want a training company for this and a training company for this. They want to single source it as much as they can, right? Now, typically when you go through these things, there's a pilot, right? Then you go to the department, right? So I'm not going to read this slide. It's standard type stuff, right? But the key thing is training companies that approach it the right way, you actually have that pathway to growth, right? You're not just doing a one-off course, right? You're not doing a couple of workshops. You're doing a pilot with the goal to get to the department. Once you get to the department, you want to hit multiple teams. And then if it's a big enough company, a regional rollout. And then eventually you want to get to the Holy Grail, phase four, where you're providing AI readiness training for every role in every team and every region across the entire company. Historically, this has not been the way, right? Technical training, you train technical teams. If you're doing soft skills, you're, training non-professional or you're training professional people versus technical people. AI spans those audiences of the working professional and the technical people. Everyone needs AI readiness. That's one of the interesting opportunities. All right. With that said and done, Freen, have I reached your slide section? The answer is yes. You got
Absolutely,
to come
Ben.
up mute.
You have. You certainly have. So let's quickly moving on. Firstly, thank you, Ben. Thank you for sharing those insights. I mean, the opportunity is clearly there. You've shown us the kind of demand there is around AI. And welcome, everyone. Firstly, welcome to all the participants. Happy Tuesday to you. I'm Afreen, and I handle partnerships on a day in, day out basis. I'm talking to training partners. So I'm here to take the conversation forward. So we've seen the kind of demand there is already when it comes to AI upskilling. I'm just here to take the session forward and how we can move as training providers faster and capture this gold mine of an opportunity, right from scattered, one-off workshops and move to signed enterprise AI contracts. And I'd love to know from all of you how many of you are already currently offering and selling AI trainings, workshops, and short boot camps. Feel free to share that on the chat. We'd love to, discuss this at the end of the session. We'd be, if time permits, we'd be happy to have some Q&A session. So moving on to the next slide, Ben, if you can help me out there. Perfect. So this is a great slide, everyone. I'm here to discuss as to why training providers miss the opportunity, the buying window. Most of the training providers who've reached out to AI Certs for a partnership opportunity, many of them that I've spoken to, most of them have decided that the path to start providing trainings is to build everything in-house, right? But then, of course, while they start building their own training programs and AI in-house, they start realizing the huge costs that are involved, the timeline that is required to build your own programs. It ideally takes around 6 to 12 months for any training provider to build your own curriculum, the labs, the assessments, the exams, and of course, to make sure the programs are in compliance with the regulations. And talking about the timelines and the costs as well, the costs are huge. You need to invest on SMEs, you need to invest on instructional design, tech platforms, updates, localizing the content, and ensuring that it is compliant with your region, right? And what is the end result? Most of these providers who, initially take the part of building their own programs in house, they don't fail because of lack of effort. What I've seen, Ben, mostly is that they fail because the market doesn't wait for them, right? So that's where we are here to solve that problem for you. So the next slide talks about how can AI search supports training providers to start launching these programs, not in months and years, but in just weeks. Right. So moving on to the next slide, Ben. Perfect. All right. So, as I said, by the time your program is ready, enterprise buyers have already made their decision and reached out to your competitors. So, I'd love to know what stage you are currently with your AI training programs. How soon, if you haven't started offering it already, what are the timelines you're looking to launch? Please feel free to share that over the chat. So, as I said, this slide talks about how a partnership with AI Certs gets you contract ready in just weeks, right? So, you can offer these in just weeks and not months. You're not starting from scratch or from zero. You're actually leveraging proven enterprise approved programs. So there is no risk involved here when it comes to content creation, when it comes to the content getting outdated, because AI is moving really fast, everyone. To keep up with the pace of AI, we have a quarterly updation policy. Our curriculum is completely vendor aligned. It's regularly updated. It's trusted by enterprise buyers. So this is not just helping you guys launch these programs faster. It's more safer, it's more credible, and more profitable for our training providers, right? Talking about how not just saving your cost and your timelines, but it also reduces and completely removes the risk through proven updated curriculums. So you get enterprise confidence, you get faster contracts, and you're actually able to grab some of those huge millions of dollars that companies right now are investing in AI upskilling. So Ben just gave us all the stats in the previous slides on the kind of gold mine of an opportunity there is. The only thing is that we need to move fast. It's not an option anymore. I would say it's a necessity, right? And of course, we have a proven ecosystem. So moving on to the next slide. I want to talk about how do we support partners, not just launching this in weeks, but also what is the kind of support that we give. So Ben, if you could just move to the next slide.
Yep, and you quickly had asked, who's attending today and all the rest, right? So
Right.
through all the different private chats, right, we have several dozen attendees, not 100, so we didn't break 100 attendees in this particular event. Two-thirds are commercial training providers, one-third academic. There's no associations in today's webinar, which associations being smaller are not super surprised. I sometimes see them pop up in these events. But like you're saying, time to market, right, is becoming increasingly important, right? You don't have the time to build the content. You don't have the time to go and maintain it. It's hard enough to go out and get into those enterprise sales cycles and all the rest. But the need to move quickly is one of the interesting things with this need for AI training. Now, with that said, let me take you to your next slide.
Absolutely. So this shows the kind of proven ecosystem that we have, the scale and the credibility of these certification programs. This slide talks about a complete global partner network. We now have over 114,000 plus learners. We have 70 plus role-based vendor-aligned certifications to offer, catering to various industries and opening up doors for our partners to cater to a wider audience. We have over 170 plus trusted global partners operating in these countries across the globe. So this clearly makes it, clearly shows us that you're not experimenting with AI certs. You're joining an ecosystem that is already working. So this slide itself is the proof of it, showing the kind of learners and the kind of partners that have associated with us. You can see some big names there. We have Netcom Learning, we have Fastlane, we have Lumify Works, we have Coining, we have Tech Skills. So we've just put in some names here, guys, but we have a whole network of over 170 plus partners. So that shows the scale and the credibility that our certifications are offering, the trust of these enterprises when they're taking and leveraging our certifications to internally upskill their employees in AI, right? So you have shared credibility with this partnership, shared momentum, and a shared enterprise trust. So to be honest, whenever I talk to these partners, the only problems that they face or the pain points to grab these big L&D budgets of these huge enterprises is that enterprise buyers trust ecosystems and not just one off the shelf kind of training programs and solo experiments. That's not working anymore, right? And of course, moving on to the next slide, we have the complete tech stack available for our partners. Like I mentioned, we're not just an off-the-shelf content provider. We are a certification body, and we have a complete partner in infrastructure and ecosystem in place. We offer you the content. It's completely role-based. It's vendor-aligned. It's regularly updated to keep up with the pace of AI every 8 to 12 weeks. We have the credible exams that are ISO compliant, ISO aligned. It's completely online. It's proctored, and of course, it's verifiable. So Ben spoke about blockchain verifications, instantly verifiable certification. So that's what corporates and enterprises right now are looking at. Not just someone who can say that, hey, I know how to use AI, but someone who has a validation or a proof of those skills that they've just learned. And that is what our certification does. It's a validation or a proof of your AI skills. It's based on blockchain technology, so it's completely tamper-proof. You can instantly verify the certification, its credibility, and its authenticity. And of course, the complete go-to-market support. We have all the marketing assets that you would need as a partner curated. You have a partner portal or a partner dashboard, as I would like to call it, where you have complete access to the complete learner portfolio as to how many learners you've enrolled. The complete resources are available on the partner portal as well. And we help you with demand generation. So most providers that you partner with only offer content, right? But enterprise buyers expect the full stack. And we are here to provide you with the full technology stack and the support ecosystem. So partners don't need to build, maintain, or update anything when they start offering our certifications. And moving on to the next slide. Perfect. This is one of my favorite slides, and I love to walk through everyone through this. This is our complete portfolio for you at a glance. We spoke about 70 plus certifications that we have to offer. We're the only certification body out there offering role-based certifications, and we have a huge portfolio at your disposal. So you can see on your left-hand side, we have all the professional certifications, and on your right-hand side, you can see all the technical certifications. So it's just the two cohorts of our certifications of our 70 plus courses that we've divided based on your target audience. Hey, if you're a technical training provider, feel free to offer our technical portfolio. If you're a professional training provider, feel free to offer our professional portfolio for your non-technical audience. And if you're a training partner who caters to both kind of audiences, then you have the entire 70 plus portfolio catering to both professional or non-technical and technical audiences. So you can see that all of our certifications are micro credentials meant to develop practical AI skills that you can start implementing immediately in your day-to-day job roles. And to talk about some of the top selling certifications currently that are selling like hotcakes, so that would be under the AI Essentials that you see under the professional category. Those are some of the certifications that are currently in high demand. We have some great certifications under the AI for business, like sales, AI for marketing, AI for HRs, AI for project managers, legal, finance, supply chain. These are doing really, really well. And of course, the learning and education, the AI for educators, also something that universities, colleges, K-12 schools are really focusing on. We have some specialization certifications, wherein, of course, 70% of the Americas is now the healthcare industry, I would say, as per the stats, 70% of the healthcare industry in America has already adopted AI. So there's a huge demand, guys, already when it comes to AI skilled talent. And that's where we need to grab this opportunity. So our AI for healthcare section is completely booming in the America region, where we have various certification programs like AI for healthcare, AI for doctors, AI for nurse. So as you can see, the AI healthcare focuses completely on an industry. Then we have broken that down into more role specific certifications, where we have AI for doctors, AI for nurse, AI for medical practitioners, etc. And moving on to our 40-hour duration certifications, which is the technical certifications. Here we are seeing a huge demand in the AI and cybersecurity space, then followed by the AI for developers, AI in data science, and of course, AI in cloud computing. So these are some of the certifications that we currently have to offer. We roll out certifications every quarter. We are in the process of building more and more certifications as we speak, right? So this opens up opportunities, especially for training providers who were initially maybe catering to B2C and wanted to expand into the B2B space. Here you go. We have something that you can do, where you can do an enterprise wide AI readiness program. We have certifications catering to every department, every team within an organization, right? From the leadership team to the sales team, to the marketing team, to the IT department, to the PMO team. We have certifications catering to every job role within an enterprise, right? So this is the complete portfolio. Feel free to choose which certifications are apt for your kind of audience. So, Ben, if you could just go to the next slide.
Yep, keeping a quick eye on the time, right? So we have set things up in terms of there's a big market opportunity. We provide that infrastructure, that ecosystem, right? We're looking for partners that connect the two, right? This is not like the next day we're all millionaires. There's work required. We're looking for partners that can connect the demand with the capability, right? So let's have a look at those different partner programs.
Absolutely. So depending on your business model, choose as to which partnership model fits your business, right? So if you're a training provider, you're a training institute, you're an edtech platform, you're into skill academics, you're into workforce development, authorized training partnership is the training partnership model that you need to go for, where you would be our authorized partners to deliver the instructor-led training on our certifications. If you're an academic institution, you're a university, you're a college, you're a school or a institute, higher education institution, then our academic partnership is what you would approach us for. Of course, if you're an association, you're a chamber or a federation or a member driven organization, and you want to start offering these certifications to your internal members at discounted prices, so feel free to reach out to us to explore more about our association partnership. And of course, if you're an individual, you're an influencer, you have a great network and you want to promote our certifications without any customer operations or deliverables, commissions out of these enrollments, then a partnership would be the right partnership model for you. So choose as to, based on your business model, choose the various partnership models that we currently have to offer. So to us for more details, right? And of course, now moving on to the most important discussion, we spoke about the demand that there is and how do we start off? The complete market ready plug and play package, start making immediate profits, right? So the next slide then. So moving to the first pillar, of course, that we have the complete content which is regularly updated, right? It's a complete plug, promote, and profit. So we've structured this so partners win operationally and strategically. Basically, it's very simple. This is like a repeatable partner framework. You have everything plug-in ready for you from day one, right? From the courseware to the exam, the labs, the LMS, the analytics, the dashboards, it's all there. So zero content creation burden on our partners. No SMEs required to hire to build your own programs, no curriculum design, no systems to stitch and build and develop, right? It's all there. We have the complete market ready product available for you. You can launch your first AI training programs with certifications in just weeks. And of course, enterprise trust these certifications because they add that layer of validation and credibility. All of our certifications are ISO aligned, they're vendor aligned, so not locked to any one vendor ecosystem or platform, and they are globally recognized. So you have ready to launch infrastructure with zero content building time or updation, and you are ready to launch these programs from day one of starting the partnership with us. Now, moving on to the second pillar in the next slide, which is, of course, the promotions. We not only, like I said, we're not just the off-the-shelf content or a course provider. We have a complete partner infrastructure and ecosystem in place. We don't leave our partners alone after signing. Right. We work very closely with our partners to ensure that you're succeeding in this partnership. We help you with complete promotions when it comes to co-branded marketing assets that are available on your partner portal. We do a lot of co-branded marketing activities with our partners, like online webinars, etc., to promote you and to create that demand within your market. We give you a lot of support when it comes to marketing campaigns, awareness campaigns, and promotions. We help partners move from selling, these traditional AI boot camps or workshops to selling it to and making them enterprise capable. Right. And we give you complete regional campaigns. We have localized go-to-marketing support as well, depending on the regions that you're catering to. So it's not just generalized marketing support, but region-specific marketing that we do for our partners, which are specific to your audience, to your local customers, to your region specific. So we sit with our partners, understand your launch timelines, your go-to-market strategies, and then we help you launch these programs in weeks. And of course, the complete support is given in terms of demand generation. Now, I would love again to know if you guys have already, what would accelerate your AI revenue the most in the next 90 days? Let us know. What are you looking at? And the last and the most important pillar, of course, is the profits, right? So you have multiple revenue streams to go ahead and offer this to your end users or to your customers. You have flexible delivery options. Like Ben reiterated earlier, you can go ahead and offer this as self-paced e-learning programs. You can offer them as instructor-led programs where it could be completely online, virtual instructor-led training. It could be face-to-face, on-site, classroom-based training, or it could be hybrid, completely your call as a training partner. It opens up doors to cater to multiple audiences. You can now shift and expand your market from B2C to B2B, cater to enterprise clients, government programs, and even some of our partners have been able to grab a lot of government funding from the ministries and governments that have been heavily investing in AI upskilling in their specific regions. So they've got fundings on our programs. Talking about the Ministry of Tamkeen recently approved one of our training programs for our partners in the GCC. We had a partner in Malaysia and Thailand that recently got a funding from HRD Corp for our training, for providing a face-to-face instructor-led training on one of our certifications. So that's the kind of demand there is. So you can open up doors to cater to enterprise as well as government programs. So that helps partners to scale, right? You can start with one certification and then you can grow and expand into multi-year enterprise agreements. So the margin is simple. We have a very competitive pricing when it comes to our certifications because everything is built in-house, right from the certifications to the proctoring to the certificate issuance platform. It's all in-house. So the pricing is something the most competitive out there. So the partners have higher margins to play around with when they start offering this to their customers. No content maintenance cost, no content creation cost, no royalties. So this is a win-win partnership opportunity, right? So this is not a one-time training sale. It's a recurring, I would say, AI capability partnership opportunity that we're looking at. Now, because of a lack of time, I just want to go ahead to the next slide, Ben. All right. So Ben, do you want to take this and walk our partners through the snippets of our partner portal?
I will. We only have a few minutes left, which is good because there's only a few slides left, right? We have thrown a lot at you today because inside AI Certs, we have over 400 people working for us, right? We're a huge organization. We're a global certification body. This is why we have so many role specific certification backed courses. This is why we're able to offer extensive marketing support and all the rest to enable our partners to tap into this demand for AI training. Now, on the back end, all of our partners have access to our partner portal. You can see the screenshots here. This is where you go in and you see, what are the courses available? What is the marketing that's available? What are your learners doing? What is their usage? What is their completion rate? You can see everything on the right-hand side from visualization of the analytics to the left-hand side, an extensive marketing library, a resource library as we call it. All of this is made available for our partners for you to take advantage of. Now, if that's the way we help partners, the way we help learners is your learners log into a learning management system. They log into our website where they take their courses. We haven't touched much or talked much around the courses, um, but every course has multiple ways of learning that topic. And this is really interesting. If if the topic is, what are the fundamentals of AI, we offer that topic as a video, as a two-person interactive podcast, as an audiobook, as an ebook. There's even an online mentor where you could discuss that topic with an AI mentor. So lots of different ways to learn every topic. And often what we see with their learners is they're switching between what I call these modalities, right? You can watch it, you can listen to it, you can read, you can interact with your AI mentor, and it even gives you the flexibility of switching between your desktop and an app, right? We have hundreds of thousands of people. We're publicly announced, we're getting close now to 1 million app downloads, right? Of people learning on their phone or their mobile devices, in addition to learning from their desktop, right? It's not just a set of video courses, it's about giving people flexibility of modality, right? And location as well. Now, what does this all mean? If this catches your attention, if you're like, I want to grow my training business, I want to get into AI training, I want to go after these enterprise wide things, where do you start? Right? You think about, and Freen took you through kind of our portfolio. What do you want to offer? Right? Where's your audience? What are those needs of those audiences? Not all of our partners offer all 70 courses. Some are specialized. Some are going after technical people. Some are going after professionals. Some are going after healthcare, right? Two, what type of partner do you want to be, right? Commercial training provider, an academic one, right? Now, once you get that going, right, then we sign the agreements and we get you onboarded as quickly as we can, right? You saw through the partner portal how extensive those resources are. We have dedicated onboarding teams, right? Then you launch your marketing. Again, we have already, email templates, webinar decks, all kinds of social media assets, graphic design, and things like that, graphics and videos and all kinds of things. And then you start delivering. And this could be instructor-led training. It could be, self-paced e-learning. If you're doing instructor-led training, you can provide and use your own instructors. You can contract instructors from our other partners. We even have partners that offer up their instructors. So you can even go to market even faster, right? Even while you're ramping up your own instructors, you could start using other people's instructors. You could sell seats into other partners as well, and then you start to scale your business. Right? You get your toes, you get your fingers into these enterprises, and you start to land and expand, as I call it. Right? So again, a lot of the stuff is really focused around time to market. How fast can you move? We're here to really help accelerate that side of things. Okay. You bring the expertise, you bring that market access, right? We bring everything you need to take advantage of those things: the content, the exams, the courses, the infrastructure, delivery infrastructure, marketing resources, right? The learning management system and all the rest. The key thing is, as we wrap up today's event, is if this catches your attention, reach out to us. Go to our website, go to www.aicerts.ai, and our partner programs are listed there. The application to become a partner is listed there as well. And if you're here, for example, in the Americas, you may be lucky enough to be working with Afreen because she is focused on this market, right? She has a team of people that work on recruiting partners, onboarding partners, and then making those partners successful. All right, Afreen, any closing words as we're at the top of the hour?
That's it, Ben. I think you've covered everything. I'd love for people to reach out to me and the team. We'd love to explore more and how can we help and assist you. Please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you, everyone, for being a part of this session.
Perfect. All right, let's wrap it up and let everyone go.
Thank you
Absolutely.
so much, Afreen and Ben. It was glad hearing you. You have already shared a lot of insights with all of us. And I would request the audience, if in case you have any questions, any doubts, please reach out to us directly. Otherwise, our team will be reaching out to each one of you shortly after this webinar. Also, you will be receiving your participation certificates once the webinar is over. So do share it on your socials and tag AI Certs. We'll be glad seeing you doing that. And yeah, that's all I think. Have a great week ahead. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Bye, everyone. Happy Tuesday.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Happy Tuesday.